As the Thai cave rescue operation enters its 12th day, it's a race against water for the rescue team. A new video has emerged which shows rescuers, medics and divers walking through the cave complex to reach the boys trapped inside and assist them before they are evacuated. A new photograph has emerged which also shows children standing in front of the cave. It was taken a few minutes before they went inside on June 23rd. An emergency service foundation that is helping to drain out water from the cave came out with the video that shows various soldiers and other rescue workers. And this is the photograph which was taken minutes before the teenagers entered the cave. So this is the latest photograph of the children taken 5 to 10 minutes before they entered the cave complex. Now the rescue operation is in full swing. Rescuers want to ensure that the water is pumped out. The children are ensconced safely inside the tunnel. At the end of it, on a mound which is sustaining them. So the divers walking through the water, which you can see, were trying to reach the children. The boys and the coach have been trapped inside the flooded Tham Luang cave complex in northern Thailand's Chiang Rai province since 23rd June. And were finally found alive after 10 days of being missing. Currently, a large team of divers are considering various rescue avenues to bring the boys out safely. One plan is to teach the boys how to dive and to assess whether they are fit enough to tackle the journey themselves. Another plan is to pump and drain enough water out of the cave so that the group can crawl out of the cave. Another suggestion is to find an alternative way into the cave through a natural shaft nearest to the boys, location that can be drilled from above. Now this is a plan B, but then the rescuers are not sure whether the pressure of the drill can be taken by the cave complex. However, the possibility of heavy rains in days to come, coupled with the unexplored cave territory, makes matter more treacherous for the rescue team. A Chilean miner who was stuck in a hole for 69 days has sent a moving message of encouragement to the Thai football team who are trapped in a cave. Let's now listen in to the message.
Quiero mandarle un saludo a la instancia y mucha fuerza a todas las autoridades y a la familia de estos 12 niños que están bajo tierra. No me cabe duda que si nos ponemos en oración, no me cabe duda que si el gobierno de ese país pone todo y hace todos los esfuerzos habido por haber humanamente, este rescate tendrá un éxito. Que Dios los bendiga y estaremos orando a la distancia por cada uno de ustedes, por cada una de las familias y por cada uno de estos niños que están en esta adversidad.
India has also offered to help in daunting task of rescuing the trapped children and their coach. In a letter to the Thailand government, the Indian ambassador to Bangkok said that India is willing to offer technical expertise of the company Kirloskar, which has a subsidiary in Bangkok. The company has a great deal of expertise in pumping out flood water and would be more than happy to help out. The company was also involved in pumping out water during the floods in Bangkok in 2011. The Indian ambassador to Thailand has spoken to the governor of Chiang Rai province and facilitated communication between the Thai authorities and the Indian firm.
The challenge now is to be able to extricate the boys from where they are at the moment. Kirloskar brothers have a subsidiary in Thailand. They have offered their technical expertise to address the situation. They have done a number of projects in Thailand, including the situation after the floods in Bangkok in 2011. They are among the best in the field. We are ready to do whatever we can to help in the situation.
Thailand's ambassador to India thanked New Delhi for offering their help in the ongoing rescue mission. He took to Twitter and posted the letter sent to the Thai officials by the Indian embassy and thanked India for its assistance. They come to Indian cities for higher education. They seek funds from the central government. They seek jobs in Indian cities. But certain rogue elements in Kashmir, those who feed on the public money, refuse to honor India's national anthem. And on your screens, viewers, the students of the Central University of Kashmir are refusing to stand up when the Indian national anthem plays. This is during the convocation ceremony in Srinagar. The event was also attended by the Jammu and Kashmir governor, and Vora, and former Chief Minister of the state, Omar Abdullah. The anthem was played at the start of the event after the governor reached the venue. However, the university has denied the entire incident. The university even called this video as a fake. And it is not just India where a row regarding the national anthem has been witnessed. Last year, American President Donald Trump got into an argument with players from the National Football League after some athletes refused to kneel during the national anthem before the beginning of a game. President Trump also scrapped a visit by the team to the White House to celebrate their victory in the Super Bowl tournament. So what we are showing you are the different ways of protest. And I'm joined by our correspondent Ishan Wani, our correspondent from Srinagar. Ishan, just take us through the entire incident.
Well, yesterday there was a first convocation of this university where all research scholars and the students who were going to get their degrees from the Vice Chancellor and also the governor who was there at the venue, they were going to get their degrees. And when the start of this particular convocation happened, the national anthem was played as in tradition. But according to the visuals which you can see on the screen, that people did not stand up. There were two rooms where these scholars were kept, although the university administration has dubbed it as a fake video. But at the same time, right now, the BJP is demanding action into this case, while NC and the Congress is saying that it's a political alienation which has come because of the PDP and BJP government. At the same time, BJP is demanding the actions, saying that this is being called as a fake video because the university administration is fearing that there will be some sort of an backlash because of it. This incident has again, time and time again, as I reported earlier in the morning, that there has been some political alienation of the youths. This is a classic example of that, and that is where the PDP, National Conference and Congress has tainted their guns on the PDP and the BJP government, saying that this is because of this particular government that the alienation has widened. And there were several other dignitaries at the meeting, which includes the former Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, Mr. Omar Abdullah, and other senior PDP leaders who were present at the meeting.
Ishan, what are your sources telling you? Why are these two halls? Were there two halls in which the students were sitting in the same venue? And which is what's the place? Is it the Sher-e-Kashmir Center?
Well, yes, This is a particular convocation center where most of these convocations take place. Besides that, there is no particular campus of this university here. It is under the construction right now. So that's the main reason why this particular convocation was organized at the Sher-e-Kashmir International Convocation Center here in Srinagar. Apart from that, what the PRO has told WION is that there were two rooms in which they were sitting, and in one room all the dignitaries were present and majority of the people had the standard for the national anthem. At the same time, there were other people who were kept in the other room because the convocation hall was full, and there was a video conferencing going on. They were being shown this video on the screen, and at the same time when national anthem was played, you could see only one person standing among the rest. There were other people who were just sitting down on their seats. So yes, there were two clips of this particular incident which has come from both the rooms. This has gone viral on social media. As I reported earlier also in the morning, that these incidents have been happening and have been underreported. Now this particular video has gone viral, and that's why there is so much buzz around it.
Okay, thank you so much, Ishan, my colleague from Srinagar. So my colleague Ishan from Srinagar reporting on this particular event which took place yesterday. Now moving on, in Canada's Quebec province, 17 people were killed as summer temperatures soared to a record high. 12 out of 17 deaths were reported in the eastern province capital, Montreal, and others were reported out of rural townships on the outskirts of the Quebec. Temperatures touched 34 degrees. Within a humidity index of 40, most of the dead were elderly and did not have access to air conditioning in their homes. The government heat warning is in place for the region, but meteorological department are forecasting a drop in temperature at the end of the week. This is not the first time soaring temperature in Canada has caused deaths. In 2010, a heat wave killed around 100 people in Montreal area.
C'est lourd, il y avait pas. Moi, je sais que les 2 derniers jours, il n'y avait pas de vent. qui fait que c'est étouffant aussi, tu sens la différence, tu as du mal un peu à respirer, donc le moins d'efforts possible d'hydratation.
The UK has been baking in unprecedented sunshine with soaring temperature for the past 2 weeks. The UK weather forecast shows mostly clear skies for week to come. The long-term forecast for the next 6 to 30 days sees temperature generally very warm and occasionally hot in central and southern areas. The Met offices also forecast tentative signs there may be more unsettled weather conditions into the start of August. The temperatures overall likely to be well above average with some further very warm or hot spells possible. And I'm joined by Mandy Clark, our bureau chief from London. Mandy, what explains such high temperatures in the North America and especially in Britain?
Well, it may not seem like incredibly high temperatures for India, but it's touching the mercury around 30 degrees, and that's incredibly hot. Certainly here in Britain. The bigger problem is the lack of rain as well. So there is concerns that there are drought conditionings. There's even water rationing in some areas. Earlier this week, we saw a forest fire near Manchester. Now, we haven't seen anything like that here in an awfully long time. So lots of people are enjoying the sunshine. It's unprecedentedly warm, but there has been heat-related deaths here in Britain simply because there is no air conditioning in homes. So it's just not the type of temperatures the country is used to. Another weekend ahead of us, and it's going to be 30 degrees again. So people are enjoying it, but we're seeing water rationings. There's concern about livestock, a lack of milk production because the grass that the cows eat are getting burned up, and they're saying there's not going to be enough feed for cows. So it does have serious impacts despite having a bit more sunshine in the UK.
But Mandy, before I let go of you, what's the forecast? Is it correct to say that it's all going to be sunny and without rain in Britain for next 15 to 20 days?
Yes, largely, and that is the big concern, especially among farmers. They do rely on that grass for cattle and dairy, amongst other things. So yes, not a lot of rain forecast for Britain in general, but certainly in the south. So 30 degrees, unprecedentedly hot this weekend and for the foreseeable future. People are comparing it to the 1976 heat wave where we saw widespread drought and water rationing. They expect this could be even hotter than that time.
Thank you, Mandy. Thank you for this update. So my colleague Mandy joining us from London and telling us about the fact that the temperatures are pretty high and it has taken its toll, at least in North America, where on the eastern boat 17 people lost their lives because of the heat. There seems to be trouble brewing for the Tata Group at home. The dream project of Ratan Tata Nano car is facing an acute crisis. The car that was supposed to be an affordable entry-level car for the middle Indian class saw only one unit manufactured last month. Domestic sales stood at a meager 3 units for the same month. The figures have been witnessing steady decline, considering over 160 units were sold in the same month last year. Tata Motors also informed that there was no export of Nano in the month of June. Contrast it with 25 units that were exported in June 2017. The firm has remained tight-lipped over rumors of a halt in production of the car. A Tata Motors spokesperson said, and I quote, "We are well aware that the Nano in its present form cannot continue beyond 2019 and may need fresh investments to survive. No decisions has been made yet in this regard." As the Theresa May government is working in overdrive to secure a glitch-free Brexit deal for the United Kingdom, words of caution have already started flowing in. Britain's biggest car maker, Jaguar Land Rover, has warned that the hard Brexit would cost it $1.59 billion, a year which could force it to curtail its future operations in the country. JLR joins a growing list of companies which have raised concerns about potential disruption to business if Britain crashes out of the European Union next March without a trading agreement. Released by the JLR's chief executive, Ralph Smith, and I quote, "We urgently need greater certainty to continue to invest heavily in UK and safeguard our suppliers. customers and 40,000 British-based employees' shares in Tata plunged to their lowest in more than 5 years as investors turned jittery on the company. The firm released a statement saying, and I quote, "The recent statement from JLR only reaffirms the position that the Brexit, which increases bureaucracy, reduces productivity and competitiveness of the United Kingdom's industry, is no one's interest." The negative news surrounding Tata Motors subsidiary Jaguar, Land Rover and Nano car took toll on Tata Motors stock today. The stock fell in trade today after its subsidiary Jaguar, Land Rover said a so-called hard Brexit is costing us $1.5 billion a year. Curtailing its future operation in the UK, Britain's biggest car maker said UK plans and at least 40,000 jobs would be at risk if the country left the European Union without a free trade deal. JLR exports 80% of its cars worth $20 billion annually. The stock also suffered loss on the back of the news that the Tata Motors produced just one unit of Nano car last month, suggesting a dead end for the Ratan Tata's dream car. Overall, the shares of the Tata Motors have been broadly falling since late September 2016, and in the stock has lost about 40% of its values so far. However, Tata Motors has not yet decided to stop the production of Tata Nano. The stock of Mumbai headquarters Tata Motors fell as much as 5.43% to a 5-year low of rupees 252.55 on NSE on Thursday. Moving on, 2 people in the town of Amesbury near Salisbury in England were admitted to hospital after being exposed to a nerve agent. The British police has revealed that the couple was exposed to the Russian nerve agent Novichok. The chemical used is same as one used in the poisoning of the former Russian spy Sergei Skripal and his daughter in March this year. Police were investigating after a couple in their 40s fell critically ill from exposure to the substance few kilometers from the same place where Skripal and his daughter were poisoned with the same nerve agent. Scientists are working to identify the substance amid speculation that the victims could have been sickened by the residue from the poison that nearly killed the Russian double agent and his daughter.
However, on Monday the 2nd of July, due to concerns over the symptoms both the man and the woman were displaying, samples from both patients were sent to Porton Down Laboratory for analysis. Following the detailed analysis of those samples, we can confirm that the man and woman have been exposed to the nerve agent Novichok, which has been identified as the same nerve agent that contaminated both Yulia and Sergei Skripal. The latest update we have from the hospital is that both patients remain in a critical condition. Both are British nationals and are local to the area. Officers are still working to identify their next of kin. At this stage, and this is important, at this stage, no one else has presented with the same symptoms linked to this incident.
The Afghan President Ashraf Ghani today paid a visit to Gurdwara in Karte Parwan area of Kabul. He offered condolences to the Afghan Sikh community for following the deadly suicide attack in Jalalabad city that killed many Sikh Afghans, including Avtar Singh, the only Sikh candidate for Afghan parliament. Ghani even hugged a kid during his visit. Earlier, former President Hamid Karzai visited the Gurudwara.
समाप्ति होगी अरदास होगी ते परिवारां वालों जिवें ही लंगर प्रसाद हो जाता है साथ संगरी लंगर प्रसाद छक के अपने घर नूं जाण दी कृपालता करनी वीरां नूं बेनती अपनी जगह ते बैठ
In New Delhi has said that the safeguarding Afghan Sikh is India's top priority.
What I can say is that the government has accorded top priority to the issues of persecuted minorities in the neighborhood. And we have taken up this matter with them. We have taken measures to alleviate their condition. There are certain requests which came to us which falls into the domain of the Ministry of Home Affairs. And we also did suggest to them that they should also meet somebody in the Ministry of Home Affairs to voice those concerns which are related to that ministry.
And I'm joined by my colleague Siddhant Sibul on this a pretty emotional, strong and a personal gesture on part of the Afghan government. If you look at the representatives in Delhi and the fact that Mr. Ghani went to the Gurdwara and the way he hugged the child.
Pretty moving and touching also, because the Afghan president himself went to the Gurdwara in Kabul city and paid homage to the martyrs of the terror attack in Jalalabad. And it's not just the president, it's the CEO Abdullah, the former president Hamid Karzai, even the Afghan ambassador here, Shahid Abdali, went to an Afghan Sikh Gurdwara in Delhi's Tilak Nagar and paid his homage. And this across the political spectrum. But we have seen protests also. 2 days ago, there were protests in Delhi's diplomatic area by the Sikh community due to the terrorist attack which took place. In that protest also, Afghan diplomats came out and hugged the people, protesters. It shows that the Afghan government is really serious about protecting the minorities. But the country is facing a lot of problems, especially destabilization and cross-border terror from across the border. The Afghan ambassador told us in an exclusive interview also that the terror attack which took place in Jalalabad is from across the border. But by and large, if you look at the political spectrum in Afghanistan, they are all in a show of solidarity, are trying to console the Sikh citizens who have been attacked by this terrible terror attack, which is the worst in many, many years against the minority Sikh and the Hindu community.
Siddhant, though assurance has been sought by the Indian government, the fact of the matter is from 1970s, where you had a strong 80,000 Indian Sikh community in Afghanistan, spread in Nangarhar, Jalalabad, Bagram and the Kabul areas. It has all come down to 1,000-odd Sikh community in Kabul. How do you expect that most of them will stay back at a time when they are being violently attacked?
Well, the political system there wants the minority to stay there because they understand the value of the minority. The Afghan ambassador also lauded the Afghan Sikh and Hindu minority, and also Avtar Singh, the Sikh representative, was to be elected in the Sikh parliament. He was going unopposed. But the fact of the matter is, because of these terror attacks which are taking place, the minority doesn't feel happy about it. Yesterday, Harsimrat Kaur Badal, who is a union minister here in India, raised the matter in the Indian cabinet with the Indian Prime Minister, and Indian Prime Minister has announced a committee in which the Home Minister will be there, Rajnath Singh, and India's Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj, and they both will look into how the Sikh minority which are not happy in Afghanistan and want to come to India and stay there, how a procedure can be come into form. And also there are many Sikh citizens, Sikh Afghan citizens who are staying here. We met them. They're staying in Tilak Nagar, and they are saying that they are the number one problem they are facing is the issue of citizenship. A bill is pending in the parliament. It hasn't been passed by the Lok Sabha. It has to be passed by Rajya Sabha. When the Sikh community members met with the External Affairs Minister on Monday, the Minister gave assurances, said that they'll try to pass it in the monsoon session. So by and large, Sikh minorities are happy there. They want to move.
Okay. Thank you, Siddhant. Thank you. My colleague Siddhant joining me on this issue. So the broader aspect of the story is that the minorities are under stress, and in Afghanistan with the deteriorating political situation, even the attacks on the Sikh minority has increased. Now this is all in this edition of Dispatch, but the more will continue on the other side. Stay tuned.